and welcome back to another video tutorial. I'm Carolina and today I want to show you how to make the Anna bag. So this bag is not only super cute but also very easy to make. So I will totally recommend it to you as a sewing project if you are just a beginner. I also think this is a very cute gift idea for families and friends. So you could not only make one for you but for your best friends or for your sister, your mom, whatever. I'm sure they're going to appreciate it. So yeah, just a little thought. So I made it the first time last September and I really use this bag very often. So this October I decided to make myself a new one using cotton corduroy and I really love the results and you did it too. So that's why I decided to digitalize this pattern as well so I can share it with you. And while I was digitalizing the pattern, I thought why not making a bigger one, because yeah, I use the smallest one almost every day, but after having a baby I really needed to carry more things with me, so it just makes sense to me to make myself a bigger bag. And the best part about it is that I designed it in a way that you can wear it as a shoulder bag but as a crossbody bag as well. I find it super handy. So yeah, you can decide between the two sizes because the pattern comes with both sizes and you can download it from my store, which I will link it down below. And you can also choose between two ways to close the bag, one with ribbons and another one using magnetic buttons. I will show you both during the tutorial so you can just decide which one you like the most and yeah, you do you basically. Speaking about fabric, you can find advices and my recommendation in the general info PDF that you get when downloading the digital pattern, but basically you don't want to use any stretchy fabric for this sewing project. You also want to avoid very heavy weighted fabric for this project like jeans because of the construction of the bag. Okay, and now I think we can jump into the tutorial and I'm going to show you how to make the smallest one with ribbons first, and then I'm going to show you how to make the biggest one using a magnetic button to close the bag. So let's go. For today's tutorial I will be using cotton corduroy for the exterior of the bag and pink cotton for the lining. The exact amounts of fabric are specified in the general info PDF that you get when downloaded the digital pattern and vary depending on the size of the bag we are going to make. We will cut the pattern pieces parallel to the grain line, so be careful to position the pieces correctly before cutting. We are going to cut two pieces of the body of the bag and two bows from the outer fabric and two pieces of the body of the bag from the lining. When cutting the lining, remember to mark the position of the bows. You can use a fabric marker, chalk or make a small cut as I'm doing. Once everything has been cut, we will have two pieces of the bag with the outer fabric, two pieces of the bag with the lining fabric and two pieces of the fabric that will be our bows. Before start sewing, quickly iron all the pieces so that they are easier to sew and the result will be more precise and professional. Inside the general info PDF file, you will find all the information you need about the materials required for this sewing project, but basically you will only need thread that matches your fabric, fabric scissors and pins or clips. Let's start by making the two bows. Take the two strips of fabric and begin to fold them, making sure that the wrong side of the fabric is facing you. Then fold it like this and then again on itself until you get a ribbon like this. At this point, iron it to keep the shape and do the same along the entire length and on the other piece of fabric. Okay, now that everything is ironed, we can start sewing and we will sew along the entire length of the ribbons. When we reach the end of the ribbon, we take the end and fold it over itself, then fold it again following the crease. This will be the part of the ribbon that will go towards the outside of the bag because, as you can see, we will have a clean result with no loose threads. And here it is, the final result. At this point our bows are ready, so we can set them aside and continue with the main body of the bag. This is completely optional, but I always like to sew my own label inside the things that I make. So if you want to add your own label too, now is the time to do it. Take one of the pieces of the bag's inner lining, place the label in the center and sew it on. Okay, now let's start with the outer fabric of the bag. Take the two pieces and place them on top of each other, making sure that the two good sides are facing each other and that the wrong side of the fabric is facing you. You have to check this, of course, if your fabric has a good side and a wrong side. If it's like the same on both sides, it doesn't matter. And now place pins along all the edges that we are going to sew. Let's do the same thing with the lining fabric. So once again, the good side of the fabric faces outward and the bad side faces us. Okay, now we are going to sew, paying close attention to the fact that we are going to sew along all the edges with pins for the outer fabric of the bag, while for the lining we are going to sew along these two edges, but we will leave a piece unsewn at the base of the bag. For this project, the seam allowance is always 1 cm unless I indicate otherwise. Here I'm approaching the center of the lower part of the lining bag, and as I said before, we want to stop and sew backwards to make sure that it doesn't come apart. We skip a few centimeters of fabric and then start sewing again, always sewing at the beginning to secure the fabric. Once finished, we will have all our sides sewn and this opening for the bag lining. I left about 9 cm, but you can leave a little less. However, if this is your first time doing this, I recommend leaving 9 to 10 cm because it will make things easier later on. At this point, we will open all the seams with an iron, as this will ensure an even more beautiful result when the bag is finished. In the end, we will have something like this, with all the seams neatly ironed and opened, both for the lining and the outside of the bag. Now for both the lining and the outer fabric, take these unsewn sides, fold them over and secure them with pins, making sure to match the seams. Then sew along these edges. Okay, now that all 4 sides are pinned, let's go to the sewing machine and sew everything. Now that it's all sewn, let's insert the outer part of the bag inside the lining. Before doing so, let's turn the outside of the bag inside out, so the nice part of the fabric is facing us. Okay, now let's check before securing everything that the good side of the lining and the good side of the outer fabric of the bag are facing each other, so that we only see the parts with visible seams on the outside. Now let's secure everything with pins starting from the center of the bag. Okay, everything is pinned together, so now we are going to sew. Starting from this side along the entire outer curve, let's say, and then we'll see the inner curve, leaving a few centimeters unsewn on both sides. Then, if like me you're going to use ribbons to close the bag, now is the time to insert them before sewing. So I remove a pin and insert my ribbons where I marked the bow indicators, taking care to ensure that the part of the ribbon that is perfectly finished and sewn goes inside the bag and that the unfinished part remains outside. I'm going to secure the ribbons with a clip because I find it easier, but of course you can also use pins if you prefer. And now let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay, at this point we can go ahead and sew everything together. We will therefore have one side where we start sewing a few centimeters further on and we stop a few centimeters before the end, while the other side starts sewing right from the beginning and goes to the end of the curve edge. Before turning the bag the right way around, make small cuts along all the edges so that the fabric will spread evenly over the curve. As you can see, the cuts are very small, just a few millimeters, because we don't want to get too close to the seam and risk unraveling it. Okay, now that all the cuts have been made, we can turn the bag inside out by gently pulling it out through the opening we left earlier. Now let's pull the handles out. This part may take a while, but don't worry, with a little patience they will come out. Now that the entire bag is turned out, let's close the opening we left by sewing along the open edge. We will sew as close to the edge as possible, leaving a seam allowance of a few millimeters. And here it is the result. At this point, insert the lining inside the outer fabric of the bag and iron everything to press it well and give it a nice shape before the next step, in which we will attach the handle. When we get to the part of the handle where the fabric is open, fold both the lining and the outer fabric 1 cm to maintain the seam allowance that we have kept throughout the project. And now everything is ironed. Now I just want to tell you that if one side of the handle is slightly longer than the other, it simply means that the fabrics were not cut identically. But this is not a problem at all, because you can just cut off the excess fabric and make everything even. To join the handle, we place the two side by side and make sure that all the seams match up as precisely as possible. While doing this, we also open the inner seam allowances and secure everything with pins or clips. And now we're going to sew. Now with the help of the iron we open the seam we have just made and then we close it again. Then we fold it over by 1 cm and iron it again, and then we sew everything together to close the bag. I quickly iron the rest of the bag as well to make sure the result is as beautiful as possible, and also because it is really helpful in the sewing phase. I pin the open part of the handle to help me later when sewing. At this point we want to sew close to the edge on both curves. We will sew very close to the edge, and after this step our bag will finally be done. And here it is the final result once we have finished sewing. Now I will show you how to make the bag using a magnetic button to close it. First I will iron all the pieces, which in this case are only 2 pieces for the body of the bag made with the outer fabric and 2 for the inner lining. There won't be any bows because we are going to use the button instead. I bought these magnetic buttons at the sewing shop, but you can find them easily online too. So as the first step we are going to take one of the pieces of the bag's inner lining and position one of the 2 pieces that make up the magnetic button in the center. I placed mine 3 cm from the edge. Then we do the same things for the other lining, marking 3 cm from the top edge and the center of the bag. Now all you need is a needle and you can start sewing the button by hand. I recommend going through each buttonhole at least a couple of times to secure it. Once you are done, pull the thread, cut it and go over it a couple of times to make sure it doesn't come undone. Now it's time to attach the other part of the magnetic button. Overlap the lining with the button we just attached to the other piece of lining, where we need to attach the button, and mark the exact position of the button already attached with chalk or a fabric marker. Then place the button in position and start sewing just as you did with the other button part. At this point, your button is attached and you can continue with the sewing steps, which are exactly the same as for the bag with bows. The only step you will skip is the one where we insert the bows into the bag. Here are our two new bags. I honestly can't get over how cute they turn out. I've been using mine every single day and they are one of those bags that just works with everything. Okay, so we have reached the end of this video and I hope that everything was as clear as possible to you. If not, you can always message me or just comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Feel free to send me your Anna bags or just tag me on Instagram if you made one, because I would love to see them. I also wanted to thank you to stay with me until the very end of this video and to sew together today. And if you like this tutorial, I just wanted to let you know that there are a lot more coming in the next weeks and months. So just hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so you are not going to miss any of them. And we will see in my next video. Bye!